again, those of you that just came on, we're still having people call in, so we're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get logged in. So I appreciate your patience. And thank everybody for coming. We're getting ready to go. Just one more minute. We're having a few people that are still calling in, so I appreciate your patience. Go ahead and get started then. I'm Terry Austria. I'm the Advocacy Director with Global Genes, and I want to everyone for taking the time to join us today for our Spring Quarterly Foundation Alliance webinar. There are so many things happening within the rare disease space these days, and we appreciate this opportunity to give you more insight into what we're focusing on here at Global Genes. We're going to be joined by Jennifer Bernstein from Horizon Governmental Affairs, who's going to be updating us on the discussion of tax reform as it relates to these issues involving our rare disease community. First speaker, but she's running late. She's on the hill. So we're going to go ahead and get past her slides real quick. So please go through it real quick. Global Genes Foundation Alliance program has been going quite a bit this year. It's so exciting to see so many rare disease partners coming together to not only work with us at Global Genes, but collaborate with each other as well as to help our entire community. Marketing or research, legislative issues, education, or patient support services, our organizations has our strengths. And bringing together these strengths from each of our groups, we can work together to create measurable change within our rare disease community. Power in the collective impact, and it is this collaborative mindset and focus that Global Genes feels where the power to eliminate the challenges of rare disease are. We've been working hand in hand with many of you, our Foundation Alliance partners, over the past 12 months on a variety of projects, including our new toolkits that we'll be introducing later this month, panelists for our webinars, and speakers for our in-person Patient Advocacy Summit in Southern California in September. The opportunity to share our Foundation partners' events, research breakthroughs, and patient stories in our community blog and social media has been a win-win opportunity for both us at Global Genes and our partners. When you submit items to be shared with us, it not only helps your organization reach new families and patients that may not know about you yet, it also helps other organizations by helping them get the chance to learn more about your rare disorder, the research you're working on, and the great ideas that you plan. So I'm going to move on to see if Jen Bernstein. Jen, are you on yet? She might be on the hill. So I'm going to go move ahead to Andrea.
Yes.
We will go back to Jen. Okay, great.
All right. Well, I'd like to just kick off the Global Genes organizational piece of our discussion today with highlighting some recent enhancements to our mission statement. And while the slide you're looking at says that we have a new mission statement, I just want to first emphasize our mission has not changed. Really what we have been working on here internally is how to our mission into a really easy, memorable, and umbrella type of catch-all statement that reflects what we do in a broad way, but also is impactful. So here you're looking at our revised mission statement, again emphasizing that our mission has not changed. And the umbrella statement is that our Global Genes, our goal is to eliminate the challenge of rare disease and the challenges of rare disease. We do that through a multi-pronged approach, and these we call our through statements, by building awareness, and we do that through our variety of educational resources and programs, creating and establishing critical connections between the rare disease stakeholders in our community, and then building collaborations and resources for the community. Another piece of this kind of umbrella effort also is funding innovations in research and treatment. That is a very new area for us, but one that we're going to continue to focus on moving forward in both 2014 and beyond. So what you're looking at here is an all-encompassing statement, one that we feel is both simple but memorable, and that one that reflects the collective voice and umbrella statement of what we're trying to accomplish. So moving on, please. At the same time, we also we're focused on a couple other things related to our brand and our identity. So many of you may recall that last fall, after our patient summit, we undertook a brief survey to ask our stakeholders what they felt about our name, Global Genes Rare Project. And you can see from this chart that what really resonated most in terms of our constituents, our advocates, with the name Global Genes. And with that and with your input, we have decided also in kind of the same effort of simplifying how we present ourselves, brand ourselves, and convey what we are doing in the rare disease space to also simplify our name. So what you're looking at here is our new brand, our new logo, which is just simplifying from Global Genes Rare Project to Global Genes, the same blue denim ribbon, and at the same point, we also have evolved a tagline that reflects our focus on rare disease. So what you're looking at here is Global Genes, Allies in Rare Disease. And why the tagline, Allies in Rare Disease? Because, again, we view our role as both umbrella for the rare disease community, but also the kind of the connecting point, the collaborator. And allies is a very simple term to reflect our role in being that collaborative hub for the rare disease community. So, okay, we can move on. Moving on kind of as part of, again, our organizational focus moving forward, one of the things that has been a priority for our leadership is to create a roadmap going forward for where we want to be as we are kind of, we talk about the fact that Global Genes is growing up, both in terms of our raising capacity, our programs, and we are able to accomplish as we kind of leverage those resources. So what we felt was very important to do was to kind of undertake a 3-year strategic plan, and to do that in order to create this longer-term roadmap on which we would tie our programs, our budgets, our goals, and kind of the entire focus of the organization going forward in a 36-month time horizon. So the first pieces of this are underway, and in Nicole, myself, and some key board members are going to be taking part in a senior leadership strategic retreat to focus on building out our strategic plan. But of course, building out a strategic plan takes an understanding of how our various stakeholders currently view us, those that have worked with us for a long time, those that have not worked with us for a long time, how we're viewed both in the market and in the community by yourselves as our advocates, by our funders, And so to make that retreat as effective as possible, we are in the process of gathering input. And the gathering input phase is going on for the month of April, and that is taking part in kind of two prongs. One prong is a one-on-one interview that's being spearheaded by an outside resource, Kristen Keller, and she is doing that with select, probably about a dozen to 15 individuals who are primarily kind of representative of our board and key leadership folks that are kind of serve as inside, outside leaders, volunteers for our organization. But equally important is we want to get much broader input from everyone, including yourselves, and we've opted to do that through an online survey through SurveyMonkey that is going to basically allow every person that's in our Foundation Alliance to give your input on global genes today and where you think our organization should be going forward. So with that, we will get together in May, and then the goal will be to craft the plan and the metrics that go along with measuring our success in achieving our goals, which is super important in any plan, so that just doesn't become a piece of paper but becomes something that's living and breathable and something that we can work from and grow from. And then our goal will be to share the highlights with everybody in September at our various events. So before we move to the next slide, I just want to also share that the opportunity to participate in the survey is going to be very easy. And in fact, when you get off the end of our conference today, you will be immediately linked to the online survey, and I'll share a bit more about that at the very end, but it's a brief survey, shouldn't take up more than 15 minutes of your time. Obviously, if you have that time today and can come back to it, that's fine, but we want to make this as easy as possible to get as much quality input from all of you as we can. Okay, next slide. I just also wanted to give a brief update on our undiagnosed patient program, the pilot program that you all know that we launched at our tribute event last year with our fundraising effort, and now have kind of moved into the operational phase in the first part of this year. So as you may all know from my prior update, we raised over $100,000 from that appeal in September through our end of the year into the early part of 2014 through kind of multiple channels, but primarily through the appeal at the tribute event. And with that, we then sent out and we created a multidisciplinary group of people to help us kind of crystallize our pilot program, and then moved forward with figuring out how we could leverage those dollars to help with sequencing for as many undiagnosed patients as possible. We partnered with Swan USA in terms of identifying those patients. We also sent out and used an RFP process to select 2 sequencing labs to help us to basically take care of the sequencing piece. And those labs are UCLA on the West Coast and Parabase Genomics out of Boston. And we're kind of dividing the country in half. And those select patients that are on the west of Mississippi are going to UCLA, and east are going to Parabase. With our funds, we are able to provide sequencing for 30 patients. We are looking at this as being kind of the first of many phases, we hope, where we will be able to sequence many more patients. And as a result of the press release that we shared about this program in February, we received a lot of inquiries, not only from individuals that were trying to figure out how if they could participate from the sequencing end, but from a tremendous number of potential partners, hospitals on both coasts and other institutions and other labs that are looking to help us build out this program. So we're very excited about that and view this as kind of only part one for our Undiagnosed program. So our goal at this point, the timeline, as you see, is that the sequencing we expect for the 30 patients that have been selected through a random process with Swan USA, those 30 patients should be sequenced in the next probably 30 to 60 days. And as part of the process of partnering with Global Genes and us providing the funding, we've asked for the two labs to develop educational webinars to basically provide some more up and information to those going through this process. And then upon completion of the sequencing, we are also going to be following those patients and taking several of them and sharing their journey through this process at our next tribute event in September. So that's the timeline, and at that point we also hope to be announcing the expansion of the program as well. And believe includes that piece. And then I just want to share a bit about our corporate alliance. I think Carrie had shared with us that the corporate alliance, in terms of what their role is, may not be 100% visible or clear to many of our Foundation Alliance partners. So I just wanted to take a moment and just reinforce or highlight or share some information about our corporate alliance. So as you can see here, our corporate alliance serves as a much more important part of our organization than merely just kind of a group of industry representatives that partner with us from a funding standpoint. They really are part of the direction in terms of creating programs and strategies that help us be able to execute on ways to impact the rare community. Forward, we are looking at ways to help bridge the roles that the Foundation Alliance plays with the Corporate Alliance. And right now, we have several Foundation Alliance members that participate on our Corporate Alliance committees, our Healthcare Provider Committee, our Education Committee, and our Access Committee, and provide that kind of other piece of information and other perspective that may not necessarily be really understandable from industry. So that's a wonderful opportunity, a great voice, that a great opportunity to have these two groups collaborate. We're also looking to kind of build out our advisory group in the Foundation Alliance to have them serve in almost a focus group capacity, so that Corporate Alliance members can use the Foundation Alliance and work with the Foundation Alliance to get input on programs, ideas, strategies, what the most important needs of the rare community from an education and resource standpoint going forward. And the kind of next step in that process to build that bridge between the Foundation Alliance members and the Corporate Alliance is going to take place at our Patient Summit this September. We are very excited, and I know Nicole is going to share more about different components of our Patient Summit in a little while, but we are very excited to have the opportunity and create the opportunity to bridge yourselves with our Corporate Alliance through a combined session during the end of the Patient Summit on Friday, September 12th, and the approach and content will be is evolving, but again, it's going to focus on helping industry understand what it means to be patient-focused from the standpoint of the program, services, and resources that they are creating. So that is kind of a very brief recap of the Corporate Alliance, really more to share with you how we see yourselves working with the Corporate Alliance to kind of merge the information, the resources, and build that collaborative platform that we think is so essential.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce our founder and president, Nicole Boyce, who's going to share some exciting details about our two big upcoming events. Nicole?
Thanks, Carrie. Excuse me. So we are heading into our annual September, all things rare 3-day event or events taking place September 11th through the 13th. We are currently working on finalizing a lot of the details for the Tribute to Champions of Hope event that you will be hearing a little bit more about in a second, but we have officially announced our call out for nominations for our community-driven awards in areas of science, advocacy, a medical caregiver, collaborations in advocacy, and collaborations in science. And I just want to speak very brief about what you should be thinking about in regards to those potential nominations that you might have in those categories. What we're really looking for is, kind of what's extraordinary, right? What are individuals doing where they're kind of going above and beyond the norm to advance efforts in science, to advance efforts in care or treatment? So things that are unique, and that's very important not only in science, especially important around advocacy. Many of you on the call know someone or are individuals who have worked on something related to your disease or your condition that has been something unique, something that would be viewed by others in the community as, something that they would aspire to do as well. In many instances, there's even individuals that are doing remarkable things as a result of supporting your particular disease or that you care about that you might want recognized around advocacy. So again, looking for, kind of those that are really, thinking outside the box and going above and beyond. From a medical caregiver perspective, especially, who is innovating around care, who is looking at the whole person, right? Who is entrenched not only in taking the time to really care for the individual or yourself or your loved one, but also, involved in other aspects of care for that disease, creating standards of care, building out best practices, helping coordinate a center of excellence. Those are the types of individuals that we're looking for. And then the last two awards, the collaboration awards in advocacy and science. We talk a lot about this at Global Genes, and it's kind of true to our mission and who we are, right? We want to collaborate first. We believe, there's a lot of efforts that take place that, where people recreate the wheel, and we all know that there's not enough time, money, or effort out there to really try to reinvent the wheel all the time. So what we're looking for are those that are kind of, putting some differences aside, finding commonalities, and working to collaborate on something to help advance efforts related to that disease. And it's either in science specifically or even something around advocacy. It may be a multi-stakeholder collaboration, from a science perspective. It might be, from an advocacy perspective, a handful of organizations coming together to work on something related to an event or to support. So we want to see where you have found collaborations to be really instrumental in helping you all achieve goals and kind of going above, like I said, going above and beyond for your disease. So you can nominate now through May 18th. We encourage you guys to do that. All of the information and all this is available on our website as well. I think you can see the link. So we're excited this year. We're moving the location. We've sold out the last 2 years, and we look to hopefully do so again. Every year we've had both years we've had about 100 patient advocates participate, representing about 80 different diseases. And we, in most instances, find opportunities for patient advocates to join for free at no charge the event. And usually you sit we kind of integrate you within the room so that you can meet new people, network, and it's just a lovely event. So we encourage everyone, if you're joining for the Patient Summit, to try to stay through the tribute as well. Any questions on the tribute, you can either find them on the website. It will be at the Hyatt Resort, Huntington Beach Hyatt Resort and Spa. I'm sorry, it's in a beautiful location right across from the very famous Huntington Beach. And it's family friendly. There's a lot of fun things to do, and it's a beautiful time of year here in Southern California as well. Go to the next slide. So we're really excited about the upcoming Patient Advocacy Summit. So just to review the timeline again, Thursday the 11th, midday, and Friday the 12th will be Patient Summit, followed by the tribute on the Saturday the 13th in the evening. I think Andrea hit it on the head, and so did Carrie. I mean, we are an organization that I like to say has been built by patient advocates for patient advocates, right? Many of you know way back when this whole thing began, it was kind of a collaboration between 7 different patient advocates who kind of came together to try to help shape what we've become today. And that notion of collaboration and relevance and collaboration with patients has not ended. We have patient advocates on our board of directors. We've obviously engaged many of you, for this alliance and for our advocacy leaders group. We've integrated patient advocates into to become part of the corporate alliance. Advocates and feedback and collaboration is infused in every single thing that we do. There isn't a day that goes by that we don't care about what people think. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, that we're relevant, that we're bringing, tools that matter, and that we can really help make this community as successful as possible. So having said that, based on feedback from the last couple of years, we are evolving the summit a tad. We're very excited about the format and what's changing. So very, very smart patient advocate, who not sure if she's on the call but would know who she is, told me once, she said, you guys have done a lot of really great work, especially for those that are very early in the process for rare disease, but there are many of us that are kind of further along the journey and are focused on, science and funding research. And for many, that's scary because they haven't made it to that part of the journey yet. For a lot of us, that's what we live and breathe and care most about. And they suggested that we try to figure out how to be relevant for all stakeholders. And so we are trying to infuse some of that, and I'll talk about the agenda in a minute, but at this Patient Advocacy Summit. So based on feedback from last year, we have more opportunity for networking. We have an open lunch for networking, and we are changing the format a bit, where we will host either a speaker or a panel on a particular topic, followed by deep dive discussions around topics related to that session. And the idea came from, many of you said, listen, there's so much, we could be here for days because there's so much that we need to know, and that many of you had personal questions and things that you really wanted to ask that were really, a little bit more relevant to your specific disease, your organization, and you didn't have as much time as you would have liked. So with that in mind, we think this deep dive, so there's expert table conversations that will happen on the heels of a session so that you can break out and find, the discussion head or, expert that you want to kind of follow, and you'll be able to jump in, and it will be a smaller, intimate group, like a working deep dive, a working session or a deep dive. And so we're excited to give this a try and see, how it works. Last year, the event was video casted. We will have, I think, the ability to have up to 3,000 people on the webcast. So this is a really great opportunity if you can't make the trek out to Southern California, which I know for a lot of people it's difficult. This is a really neat opportunity for you to pass along to others within your patient community. We will be posting the full agenda very soon. This is obviously a day and a half, so it makes it you can either join and be learning from the comfort of your home, or you might even just have a few sessions here and there that you want to jump in on. You will be able to do that. So we just want to make sure that everyone knows that yes, in fact, this will be video casted again, and we encourage everyone to send it out so that all of your disease community friends, patient advocates that you know, you may even know others that aren't really involved, could definitely learn something from this. And so, again, we encourage that. This year also we will have a foyer area that will allow for tabletop exhibits. And so for a lot of the individuals or service providers that might be participating, they will have an opportunity to be there to answer questions as well. So, last year we had a registry session, for example, and there are 4 different participants. Well, they could technically be there the entire time, and again, provide another opportunity for you guys to go out and learn more and ask, specific questions, etc. Next slide. The next 2 slides are just a quick overview. We're doing the next thing that we're doing a little different is we're actually branding sessions. So, one of the things that we talk a lot about here at Global Genes is, we certainly are not experts on everything, in fact, at all. And when we think about, being collaborators, there's a reason for that, right? There's so much important information and expertise out there that needs to happen around rare disease that it's unlikely that any one organization can be that. So what we are doing is we are collaborating with experts in different areas, and they are actually going to own and different sessions. And so we'll be working with, for example, on day 1, Caregiver Action Network on a panel with deep dives related to caregiving. And last year that first session was a huge hit. And for those of you that weren't there, you can definitely go online to last year's archived event and check it out. And so we will be creating kind of that same type of partnership with CAN as a branded partner. There's a lot of new technologies that are driving what they're calling, the e-patient, the quantified self, all these really fancy terms for, just being a smart patient and being able to really kind of manage your health care and the health of those that you are caring for. And, there's no better organization than that, than Health 2.0, who are on the cutting edge of all of this. And they will be joining us as well, bringing their expertise, some of their contacts. And so a lot of this will be some really new, innovative, and exciting information that many of you may have not, been able to check out before. So again, I'm just trying to, bring innovation and keep you guys on the forefront of some of the really great things that are happening out there related to your care, your health care. The last thing I'll say about this day, we are weaving in 3 separate times throughout this event a science brief. So this goes back to the comment that one of our patient advocacy partners said. You guys will have a couple options. You can either take a half-hour break and network, or you can take a 10-minute break and come see a 20-minute presentation brief around something related to science. We at Global Genes get contacted often by people that are innovating around technology and science, around process, clinical trial development, really cool things. And we've been trying to share a lot of this stuff with you. So we're kind of going to see who's available and who might be the most relevant to come out and participate and share, some of these innovations that are happening. Again, trying to bring some new information to all of you, just to keep you abreast of kind of what's happening and what's out there. So again, you'll either have an option to work and socialize, or you can see this 20-minute science brief. And this format is how it normally works at like investor conferences and such, where companies have literally 15 minutes to present and then 5 minutes for questions. Most of the organizations will then be available either exhibiting or throughout other breaks. But we just again wanted to bring kind of something new and unique to this event as well. Next slide. So this is just the rest of the following day. We'll be working directly with Faster Cures, who many of you know. It will really be focused likely around drug development and maybe around some FDA efforts that have been successful. Again, learning from best practices. we are going to be working with the one and only Keegan Johnson, who many of you know from last year, who is doing some amazing things in helping organizations and other nonprofits actually become unstoppable. Really working, we know that sometimes there are multiple organizations within a particular disease category. Like, how can we kind of all come to some consensus and agree to disagree and agree to work together all around what might be viewed as a common mission, which is ultimately finding treatments and cures and support for our loved ones within a particular disease. So he's going to lead us through some strategies that he's been deploying to others. So that will be a really great working session and something with a lot of really phenomenal takeaways. We're going to be working, and the next session will be really around some tactics. So we're going to be working with experts in all different areas from nonprofit development. You can see some of them there. We're really trying to structure what that might look like. It will be a great follow-on to Keegan's discussion. This one more focused on capacity building, but a great follow-on. We'll be working with Jen Bernstein and crew. We're contemplating really kind of going back to basics around, what we really need to be legislating, and what does this mean? Many folks were in D.C. for World Rare Disease Day, and we had a huge opportunity to make an impact. And we realized that many of us were there and not really equipped with the background knowledge about, kind of the process on getting a bill approved and who does what, and then how do you really prepare for a session with a legislator? What do you need to do to walk in to be really smart and unified and blow them out of the water so that they can support rare disease? And so that should be a really interesting session and a great time as we start gearing up at the end of the year for DC and our state efforts for World Rare Disease Day in early 2015. I know I'm running out of time, but we will be working with someone who's an authored social worker around transitions in care, but also on know your rights as a patient. And so we're kind of working to decide on which way that conversation should go. If any of you on this call have feedback or thoughts on that, what you would want to see, please shoot an email to Carrie. And then last but not least is the conversation with industry. I mean, we've been back and forth on this, and patients want to know how do we engage and win, and how do we really become partners in this. There's a lot of misconceptions about working with industry out there, and there's a lot of positives and reasons to become engaged. But what are the four kind of critical pillars to developing a successful drug? And we have someone who's been working in this area for many, many years, who I think will shed some really interesting light and provide great feedback on this topic. And the goal is to walk away to almost create a white paper off this session so that we can make it available to everyone, have it posted on the site so that it's, we all learn from this, and then it's made available to the community moving forward. Monday night, we'll be the host we will host our super fun networking event. It will be beach themed this year. It's right out on this veranda overlooking the ocean. It's going to be beautiful and fun. And so bring your beach themed Hawaiian shirts and be there or be square. This is super exciting, and we're very, very excited to share with you guys that we will be hosting our first Day of Beauty in conjunction with the Patient Summit and the Tribute event. So the idea was this. We all know, we heard it in the Caregiver Summit last year. Many of you on the call spend countless hours taking care of everyone else but yourself. And what we wanted to do was provide a really cool opportunity for you to just get a little love back. And so we're working with an organization called Beauty Bus and one of our sponsors, Walgreens, to create a Day of Beauty where you guys will be able to sign up. Unfortunately, there will be a limited number of spots available, but where in preparation for the gala later that you can get your hair and makeup done and your nails done and just feel good and you know, give some special treatments just to help you, you know, get an awesome day. And so we're very excited about this, and we've been in many conversations with our partners, and just stay tuned. When you register for the summit, there will be an opportunity there for you to register for this, and then we will have Beauty Bus representatives on site at the patient summit. For those that registered, will get to then sign up for their times, their services at, it will happen on Friday at the Patient Advocacy Summit. So just keep that in mind. But again, this is something really special, and we're excited to be able to do this for many of you all that will be staying. Next. We talked about this, so I think my time's up, right?
Thanks, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Next, I'd like to introduce Katie Mastro, who's going to be talking about our toolkits and our upcoming webinar. Katie?
Hello, everyone. As some of you know, my name is Katie. I work on educational programs with the Global Genes. I also work on the Corporate Alliance. I see Jenna and Lisa are on the call, my fellow Corporate Alliance advocate members. I come here today to talk to you all about our rare toolkits. Educational, collaborative, and comprehensive resources that provide critical information on topics important to the rare disease community. Advocates, patients, caregivers, families, and others can all benefit from these toolkits. In addition to information, they also provide resources, expert testimonials and tips, video tutorials, and sample letters and templates all online. The link was on the previous slide there, and I encourage you all to click on and check these out. To dig a little bit deeper, the slide, I wanted to explain these toolkits. Oh, go back. Okay. Sorry about that. This online and in print form, so they're easily accessible to everyone. They are also can be ordered from our office. They are in print and book format, online, and can be through the PDF, so you can print them out yourself. They're used for events and conferences, be given to colleagues, other patients, and advocates. And then on the website, they are very interactive, and they provide information in an easy format. Next slide. Some toolkits from 2013 that are listed here. We have some underway or planned. More are to come. They are being constantly improved upon. So these are kind of living, breathing resources. With time, they're going to be updated and built out. And please let me know if you want to learn more, or if you see opportunities to get involved and contribute to any of the ones planned for 2014. Okay, next slide. I work on the webinars for Global Genes, and I wanted to announce our upcoming April Rare webinar. It's on navigating health insurance issues on April 30th, the end of the month. And I'm encouraging everyone to register or share this with others that they would benefit from it. It's an important topic to many, especially with the changes going on. Next.
And as Katie said, our educational resources, like our webinars and toolkits, are free resources that you are able to use within your own rare communities as well. And we strongly encourage you and ask for your help in spreading the word on these toolkits. And they are interactive. We will encourage feedback via video, via text comments. We really do encourage your guidance and your support in helping us get these out and into the community. Thank you, Katie. Again, we're asking your input on this very important survey, so I'm going to let Andrea finish up with some final thoughts on this. Andrea?
Yes, I mentioned earlier in our presentation, the strategic planning process is now underway, and we would really like to encourage you to click on this link at the close of the survey. It will take about 15 minutes of your time. I do want to add that your information that you provide is completely anonymous. We are really just trying to capture the insights and perspective of our Foundation Alliance members, and anything that you share will be summarized and presented as a whole, so feel free to spend as much time as you like, but again, won't take more than 15 minutes, and your input is incredibly valuable to us, and we really thank you in advance for taking the time to complete the survey. And I will pass it back to Carrie to close.
Thank you all again for coming out and taking the time to join us today for our quarterly webinar call. We'll be doing it again in a few months, and I will be sending you details on that. I just want to let you know that we really feel so fortunate to have such an amazing group of Foundation partners like yourselves to be able to work with on these various projects. And if you have any questions or would like to reach out to talk to us about some of these project ideas, please let us know. We're easily accessible, available, and it's work together on these projects that we're really going to make some incredible changes for our rare community. Again, thank you for your time, and we appreciate your support. Have a good afternoon.